The science of mind philosophy is a simple one. It's not complicated. It doesn't have tiers and hierarchies and things. The basic premise we teach is that God is all there is. That's why when you come here, you hear people saying that we are that presence, that we are that divine experience and expression of life, right here and right now. That is the highest truth of all life and all experience, that all there is God. Probably easier to say than to live. So life is going along, and we're looking at that idea of being the divine presence in our lives, and then we have a problem. Anybody ever had a problem? Go ahead, fess up. You can raise your hand. It better be everybody, because everybody's had problems, right? What are you supposed to do when you have a problem? Well, our founder, Ernest Holmes, says that the thing we're to do is to turn away from the condition, turn away from the problem, and that by doing that, something will change. No. We do have problems. From time to time, they show up. Sometimes they look like a storm cloud. And they just kind of sit there, in our lives. Whatever we perceive the problem to be, it sort of stays there. It sort of involves itself in our lives, and we think about it, and ponder on it, and wonder, and fret, and have concern, and all the other things that we do with our problem. And it doesn't seem to go away. But you know what? We know everything there is to know about it. We know everything there is to know about this problem. We know when it started. We know where it came from. We know whose fault it is. Not ours, usually. Sometimes, but not always. And we think we know what it's going to take to get it to go away. Yet, it doesn't seem to go away when we do that. Why do you think that would be? That it wouldn't go away when we so much want it to go away? Well, I believe that it's because of sin. Okay, all right. In the science of mind, we don't have sin. But if we did, we would have 4 sins, 4 major things that are possible for us to engage in that would allow us to have this in our lives, this mess, this horrid, terrible, awful, miserable, nasty, God, I hate you! But does it go away? No. And it's because of these things that I call our sins. The first sin is blame. For example, it's your fault that I have this problem. You did this to me. It's your fault. I was doing fine, and then you did this, and now I'm stuck with it. Sounds like a divorce, doesn't it? Or sometimes we find the blame in the problem itself. You stupid, nasty, terrible situation. Get away from me. I hate you. You're miserable. God, my life would be so good if you just weren't here. Or sometimes it isn't quite so obvious and so big. It's like, I hate you. No, I really hate you. It's your fault. It's your fault that my life is the way it is. And I'm just going to have to be miserable here. I'm just going to have to be miserable here forever. It's all your fault. Okay. They give you a sense of the blame game? How you do the blame thing? So if you're blaming somebody for what's going on in your life, even blaming yourself, what you're doing is you're focused on the problem. You're focused on the condition. You're focused on the thing that you claim you don't want. But yet you're so in relationship with it. You know you hate it. And you just can't quite let it go. You blame. That keeps the problem in your life. The second one is shame. The sin of shame. You really just wish it just wasn't there. And you don't want anybody to know because you're so ashamed. You're trying so hard to keep it down in a way so that nobody notices it. Because you're really just don't laugh, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so ashamed. How could this be in my life that I have this? And it just won't go away. It's on my arrest record. It's in the court documents. It's at the doctor's office. In the x-rays. I'm so ashamed. I'm so embarrassed. This wasn't the way my life was supposed to be. All of that thinking, all of that doing holds you in that relationship with the problem. All of it holds you at the level of the problem. Blame, shame. The third great sin that keeps this in your life is regret. Because if this hadn't happened, you'd be whole and healthy and complete, happy. Your life would be working. But how could your life work when this is going on? You regret doing it. You regret inviting it in. You regret what brought this to you. You regret it. You just regret it. You just lost in regret. What are you supposed to do? Wow. And the last of the four sins is called failure. The idea that because this is here, you have failed at your life. Your life has lost its path, its direction, its meaning, its value, because you are a failure. Look at it. Here it is. I'm a failure. Look, there it is, my failure, right there, for all to see. I wear it like that great dark cloud over my head, so that I'm not responsible for anything anymore. It's just, this is it. I failed. I failed. And now wherever I go, it's with me. That's just the way it is. You know, I'm good for nothing. I failed. I tried it. I tried to be in a relationship. I tried to have that business opportunity. I tried to work out and eat healthy, but I failed. And this is just the way my life is. Such resignation. Such a pathetic way to be in the world. Yeah, we all do them. Tell me you haven't played those 4 games. Haven't practiced those 4 sins. You see why I call them sins now? Yeah. Because they hold us to this, that we so much claim that we don't want. So Holmes says turn away from the condition. Turn away from the condition. And he got it from, I'm sure from, maybe even from Jesus. I'm sure he got it from a number of places. Remember in the gospel where Jesus is trying to explain that when he goes into Jerusalem that some unhappy things are going to happen? And Peter calls him aside and says, Lord, you got to quit talking like that. You know, God's going to take care of you. Everything's going to be fine. And what did he say to him? He said, get thee behind me, Satan. He turned away from Peter, his beloved Peter, the one that he called the one that he would build his church on. He said, get thee behind me. Now, in the original Aramaic, Satan means adversary. Because in that moment, Peter was getting in the way of what he was trying to tell his closest people was going to happen so that they would be prepared. And Peter's going, that's not going to happen. You're wrong. Get thee behind me. He turned away from Peter because he didn't need to deal with Peter when he was dealing with all this other stuff. That's how we need to do it in our lives, is turn away from that thing that is truly our adversary. Now, we created it. I'm not saying we didn't do this. We are not pathetic, miserable people that have things put upon us. We did this. I did this. I made this. This is mine. My creation, right there the way it is. But I didn't fail. Because this is my opportunity to redirect my life in a way that's going to work and to do what Ernest Holmes invites us to do. There's 3 ways I've discovered in my counseling with people that people try to do this in a way that doesn't work. The first way is called denial. That's like, what problem? I don't have a problem. Everything's fine. I don't have a problem. I used to have, I used to have problems. Denial, yeah, everything's fine. Okay? Denial doesn't work. It's still, a denial is still focusing on the problem. So denying it, you can deny it all day, but the subject of your statement of denial is the problem. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So denying it won't get you what you want. Yeah. The next of these three things that people do is they try to run away from it. You know, like, get away from me! How'd that work out? Huh? Can you run away from your problems? You can hang up the phone on people. You can walk away from people. You can go hide in your closet. But does that mean the problem's going to leave? Does that mean the creditors are going to stop calling? Does that mean the x-rays are going to be different? Does that mean that the love of your life is going to change her mind or his mind? Nah. Running away from the problem doesn't change anything. You take the problem with you. I remember that from when I moved to Australia, thinking that I was leaving all my problems here. Damned if I didn't show up right there in the midst of it, creating new ones that were pretty much the same problems until I got it. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm making this happen. Okay, now I can start doing something different. The third one, and this one is really insidious because the way we teach this idea of, you've heard it all day from the affirmation and the words in the songs that we sing and all that we do, this idea that we focus on that which we desire, but there's this little twist that we have to cover here. And that's when we try to lie ourselves out of our condition. When we don't know what the answer is, so we make up an answer and tell everyone around us that that's what's happening, and it's not. Yeah, it's like, I need money and I got to make a sale, so I'm going to start telling everybody that I made a sale. That's a lie. And we do not teach people to lie here. We teach people to create their lives, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but it's not about making stuff up and telling people it's so when it's not. Okay? Because when you do that, this gets bigger and nastier and uglier and louder. And it will. It really will. What Holmes said was, turn away from the condition. And what he meant by that was, stop feeding this. Stop letting it run your life. Stop trying to manipulate it out of your life. Don't give it all that energy. Focus on the thing that you desire. And the desire is the first element of creating the thing that's going to take this away. So we focus. We need a focus. We need a desire. And desires are wonderful. There's something new to focus on because sure as garbage, this one didn't work. So I'm going to focus right over here on this. And you know what? I don't care how loud that condition screams at me. I'm going to focus over here. I'm going to focus over here. Now I'm going to do what I need to do to make my life work. I'm going to focus on this because if the doctor said that there's this major problem, I'm going to focus on my health. I'm going to focus on my thoughts about health. I'm going to focus on creating that health in my life, just like in that beautiful song that Laura sang and we've had played for us. We don't focus on the problem. We focus on the thing that we desire. We don't spend our lives wondering how that's going to turn out. We're choosing to be in the moment with the thing that we desire. Desire is an amazing thing. Desire is like a compass. Desire tells us where we're being called to be present in life, to give ourselves to life, to fill ourselves with life. It's the desire that wakes us up to where we're going. Now, most people say, when you ask them, what do you want? The first thing they'll say is that, I want this to go away. No. Don't give that anything. Give this everything. I want this. I want this in my life. And it's mostly about how we're being in life that's so important. How are we being in life? The thing that we desire is to be who we are. Fully, completely evolved. Expressing life genuinely and honestly and thoroughly in who we are. To stand with integrity before anyone and everyone. To know who we are. That's being and living in our desire. But desire is only the first step. The next step is to have a dream. To have a dream that actually lifts you up. That holds you in that, what could my life be like? What could my life look like? It could be even bigger than this. It could be extraordinary. It could touch lives around the world. And what happens? Well, sure enough, it gets bigger. It gets brighter. It gets more beautiful. Isn't that amazing? While that's going on, that condition may scream at you. It may bark and carry on, but the truth is over here. This is old news. Excuse me. I need to introduce you so everybody gets what's happening. This, my friends, is the law. For it is the law of spirit that takes that which we focus on and creates it in our lives. It was actually the law that created this from our thoughts originally. Yes. And it's the same law that will create this in our lives from our desires and our dreams. Our dreams for a clearer, more beautiful life. Our dreams for peace surrounding us, for joy, for happiness, for love. Whatever is our dream for our lives to be fully expressed, complete in every way, when we hold that dream, this is what shows up. And this is what becomes important. And this is where our attention goes. And it's quite amazing how that used to be the problem may still be around a bit, but it's not got our attention like it used to. It's not important anymore. We have put all of our attention here into the great desire and the dream of our lives. And suddenly things are working. And the third way that we do that is with our vision. Our vision that goes bigger than us. Bigger than just our lives and our desires and our dreams, but our vision for a better world. How could that be any bigger than this? As beautiful and wonderful as this is, yes, it can get even bigger and more beautiful and more bright. More bright. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that beautiful? So that we can live in a world that looks like this. We can live in a world that's this powerful, this amazing, this wonderful. And all we have to do is focus our attention here. In so doing, the dark clouds of our lives are diminished and dispelled, no longer relevant. And what we have is a rainbow. The truth of life, the fullness and richness of life before us. Let me share the words of a great writer, a German writer named Goethe. He says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy. This is commitment. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, that ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. At the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never have occurred otherwise. A whole stream of events issue forth, and material assistance, which no one could have dreamed would have come their way. Whatever you can do, or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness and genius has power and magic in it. This is our lives. This is the important thing for us to focus on, for us to live in. Everything else falls away, so that we can have the fullness and richness of life simply by focusing on our dreams, our desires, our vision for a better world. It's just that simple. But that means every single day you got to wake up and focus over here. You can't get stuck over there, because even though it's not there right now, you can build another one of those anytime you want. It's choice, moment to moment, day to day, on how you're going to live your life. I choose the rainbow. I choose the fullness and richness of life. And you know what? That's really working for me. I also choose it for you. But I can't choose it for you alone. You have to join me in that. You have to be willing to do this for yourself every single day, to wake up in gratitude, to know the truth about who you are, and to choose to live your dream and create that vision for a better world. I'm with you every step of the way. This entire center is built on the idea of supporting you and lifting you up so that you can lift up those around you. And this can truly be a better world. It's ours for the taking. It's ours for the creating. Won't you join me? And so it is. So